Hey everyone. Okay, here we are, actually live and in person, and I'm so excited to see you guys again. So it's been a little while, you know, summer vacation schedules and getting people to places they had to be and camps and commitments and things. And so finally I'm back in here and excited to stamp with you. So the last couple days have been filled with all kinds of fun stamping adventures. I've been making cards and cutting paper and getting things ready, and I have so many things to share with you that I haven't had a chance to yet. So I'm like, my mind is bursting with all of those things that I need to share with you. One, of course, is Designer Series Paper Share, which I realized I didn't put in the comments or the video description, so I'll have to do that. Designer Series Paper Share is open for the new book. So that will be really exciting. Get your spots in for that. And then all kinds of other things that I'll get to as we go along. But I'm going to start off. Hey, Joan, it's good to see you. I'm going to start off with our technique. So this is a really, really fun technique. It is one that can be really, really messy, but produces absolutely breathtaking results. And you are definitely going to want to try this. It uses some things that you probably have on hand already. And then that's always nice, right? When you can just pull some stuff out that you've got and give it a shot. I do love for this technique the Silhouette Backgrounds Forever Forest. And it has these mountains in it, which remind me of all kinds of fun adventures this summer, and some trees. And then to go along with this, I have the Wanted to Say dies. And these are a set of words that have some silhouettes and some details, and they cover happy birthday, celebrate, you're too kind, feel better soon. So lots of good card sending occasions. And we're going to go ahead and pair with this. I'm going to show you two different versions of the card. So if I forget, remind me, Meg, you're going to show two different ways to use these. And we're going to do some really, really pretty mountain colors. So you can do this card with any colors that you want. The links in the video description for supplies include these sort of pinky purple colors, but you could very easily rotate this out to be pumpkin pie and poppy parade or something if you wanted a more orangey, neutral-y kind of color palette. But I really like these. I think you're going to like the way they turn out. And with that, let's go ahead and roll this baby over and get started. So you're going to notice right away that I am using, hold on a second. Oh, there we go. That I am using our glass mat for this technique. And I'm going to see if I can move my light here. That's what happens when you come back to the studio after a little bit away. I don't know if that got better or not. Anyway, we are going to use our glass mat for this technique because it is a really great way to protect our surface. When we're using alcohol, a 91% isopropyl alcohol, it has a tendency to stain things. And so alcohol, ink, I just like the glass mat because it's so easy to clean up. So let's pull out some pieces here and look at what we've got for our basics. And so for this, I have my piece of basic gray cardstock. This is just a half sheet. And this is going to give us a very nice neutral palette to be working on as we get ready to add our colored layers. This is a piece of the Graceful Greenery Vellum. And this vellum is actually from, let me show you. I think I have a full package here, and then I also have a sort of scraps package. So remember seeing this. This is Graceful Greenery. It came from the online exclusives. And the full package here has 6 sheets of vellum in it. It has 2 sheets of this fun greenery, like evergreen bow print. And these are cut out easily with the dies from the Season of Green and Gold suite. And then there are also these pieces here. This is vellum too, with this printed element on it. These are also to be cut out with the dies or fussy cut or used as however you like. But they're really pretty. And I was finding that I was ending up with these 2 sheets left over from this vellum package that are like boring by comparison, and they have just this little white speckle on them. So I had these left over, and then I totally switched gears, and I realized that actually they might be the most precious sheets in this whole package of vellum. So what I did was cut this up into 3x4, and this is going to be our sort of work surface here for our technique. So pulling out some, if you guys are watching live, make sure you comment and say hi. I know it's been a while, a couple of weeks since I've actually been here in person. So I am excited to, let's see, can I zoom in here? I'm excited to actually get to chat with you guys as we're crafting together. So say hello. All right, so I'm going to take Flirty Flamingo first and color with the edge of my marker. I don't want to rip up the tips of my Stampin' Blends. I have other techniques that I want those beautiful tips for. And so this is not one. So I like to color with my marker kind of on the side. So that was Berry Burst, Flirty Flamingo, and then this is Boho Blue. And then I have Night of Navy. Now these markers come, as you know, in pairs. So you're going to, I like to just use the dark for each of these. There's not really, with this technique, a lot of need for the variation like there is when you're coloring. So these are a good choice here for using with this technique. I'm also working on the side that has the white dots on it. You can kind of see that when I put my hand behind. And I love the way this technique comes out because it kind of intensifies the color, as opposed to, it's like the opposite of resisting, because that white background makes the color show through a little bit more. So it's kind of a cool bonus for using with this particular paper over just plain vellum, which we don't carry right now anyway. So the Stampin' Up! Vellum offerings are this and the gold foiled vellum, mercury vellum, which actually I should have put in the description link. It will work beautifully for this technique also, but with gold foil. So we're going to add our own little bit of gold. Now this is a Stampin Spritzer. These are the little sprayers that Stampin' Up! Carries, and they are the perfect amount of spray size, the little particle size for doing with this technique. And they're inexpensive, and I usually keep one for water and one for alcohol. This one has alcohol in it. The 90% isopropyl alcohol is a good choice for this technique. We want a higher level of alcohol than not. And just be aware that from my background in science, the longer you keep alcohol, the more water it pulls out of the air. And so this percentage actually goes down, down, down. So if this bottle in your, under your bathroom sink or whatever is like 15 or 25 years old, you might consider just getting a new one. They're inexpensive. And that way you'll have a really nice high alcohol content for this, because we really want our alcohol to dry pretty quickly. All right. I'm giving all the explanation now because the next part of our project moves a little bit promptly. And so I'm going to go ahead and spritz this. And I'm not going to over spritz it. I just want it to be a little bit wet. Okay, not a lot wet. So I've just got it covered there. And then I'm going to take a little dish. I'm a Mickey fan, and add some alcohol to this, and then use my water painter. So this is a really old version of the Stampin' Up! Water painters, but you get the idea. I'm going to just pick up, there's nothing in here. I'm just going to pick it up, and I'm going to drop I'm going to drop alcohol in dots onto our project here. And there, can you see it spreading? Okay, now this part of the technique, in the video description, I've got like some extra like word reminders to help you with this part. But you don't want to overdo this section, because what happens is you'll get, can you see how the alcohol is starting to pool on the side here? What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my Kleenex, and I'm just going to just touch the sides there so that it will wick away some of that extra alcohol, so I don't get a big like color splotch forming along the edge. And if you do, honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's just a different technique or just a different look. You can kind of do whatever works for you. You can turn this sideways if you want to help the alcohol spread in a different direction or whatnot. But I don't know, isn't this pretty? All right, so if you guys are leaving comments, for whatever reason, they're not like coming through. So anyway, so I apologize if I'm not responding to them. Okay, So we have our alcohol here, and while it's still a little bit wet, this is when I like to, see how there's alcohol and ink on my surface? This is when I like to pull out my Wink of Stella. So I'm gonna give this a shake to suspend it. Oh, Joan says the Targets have cute Mickey Halloween shirts. I might have to go check those out. When you first get Wink of Stella, know that there is a black ring right here. So you'll get your your Wink of Stella and have a black plastic ring in here. You have to take that ring out, or you will, no amount of squeezing will get the wink into the tip. So make sure you follow the directions on the package. Take that black ring out, screw it back on. It's going to puncture the tube. And then when you squeeze this right here where it says push, you'll be able to see, a little bit of wink kind of come up into the tube here. And I like to get kind of a decent amount on there. And then we're just going to flick our brush here. Let's see, maybe a little more. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna flick there we go. Flick my brush here to add some dots of the Wink of Stella to my surface. All right, and then I'm gonna quick wipe up the edge here from my glass mat. You can take it off later with rubbing alcohol too. But now, can you guys see those dots of shine on there? And the last thing you might need to do, and I didn't put this in the link in the video description, but you might need to take your tool, your heat tool, and I think that this won't make any noise for you because the camera cuts it out, but just go ahead and use the heat tool to dry any little last bits of element on there. And actually, can you see how the shine is coming out more? I don't know if you can see it or not in the video. In person, the Wink of Stella is getting super shiny. And you can actually, it's really hot. You can see the little liquid boiling in there. So, all right. The heat tool has a tendency to pull a little bit of the color saturation out of the alcohol areas. So you might be careful not to do too much of that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. And now we're going to work on layering our card. So I have a couple tips for this, especially because the elements in here are very detailed. And so we're going to, let's see, let's go zoom out a little bit. So I'm going to give you some tips for making this really easy on yourself with the Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets. So I realized I'm missing my black cardstock. And so I've got here a strip of basic black cardstock, and we're going to use this to do our mountains and trees. And I actually have the trees already cut for you, but I wanted to save this mountain part here so that you could see how this works. So we have our sheets here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull one out. And I like to cut these, sometimes I'll cut them for a color that I use all the time, like basic black. I'll just cut a piece, even if I'm not going to use the whole thing, I'll just cut a piece that I'm going to figure I'm going to use over time here. I've got some, oh, my blade popped. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim this down to our size. There we go, get the blade back in the track. All right, so now we have a piece of adhesive sheet, and this is going to make our life super easy. Now, the thing that I tell you will not make your life easy. Hey, Betty, hey, Sue. Yes, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday, Sue says, that's right. Here is a word that will not make your life easy. First of all, find the place on the back where you can just crack the sheet so you can easily peel it. But what you should absolutely, very carefully, never ever do is drop this adhesive onto your trimmer or your glass mat, okay? Ask me how I know. It is a big, big pain because then you have sticky everywhere and you have to try to get it off. The answer to that is rubbing alcohol and paper towels, and it will come off eventually, but just save yourself all of that work and don't drop it where it doesn't belong, okay? Because this stuff is a layer of adhesive trapped between two pieces of sticky back paper. And so now, oh, look, there's all the extra. Well, we'll have some spotted mountains. now I'm going to go ahead and pop my mountains on the front here, and then we'll have some of this extra. Actually, that's really kind of pretty there like that. So you can see a really great view of the Wink of Stella and how it works there. So yeah, truth, Betty says. Yeah, okay, so let's switch our camera back, and I'm going to have you guys join me for our die cutting. Okay, first of all, can we just appreciate how beautiful these plates are? I just got new plates out. I get this question sometimes. People are really concerned because their plate is getting cut up. I don't know if you can see the mountains and stuff I've been cutting on there. That's normal. That's how they work. There's just a little bit of cut into the surface that happens when the die runs through your die cut machine. Oh, okay. Helpful hint. Make sure you grab the number 2 mat. And that cutting is okay. My advice is to make sure you're flipping your plates over so that you get equal cutting and across the whole surface area of your plate. So you want to cut on both sides and you want to cut all over. And that will keep these from cupping quite so much. Because when the plastic gets cut, it basically, like if you think about this, the top of this plate and the bottom of this plate, they have like a surface tension like water does. And when you cut into that, it disrupts the tension and it lets the plate like spread there. Okay, it's not holding it together. And so if you cut all on one side and all in the middle, you're going to end up with a big cup because all the surface tension's removed there and the plate just is like, okay, don't screenshot that. That was terrible. But you don't want to concentrate your cutting. You want to spread it out for the best lifelong time on your plates. So, all right. Yes, pretty plates. Thanks, Sue. All right, so I'm going to pull this die off of here, and now we have these mountains. And check out how this one works. It gives you this little bit of embossing in here as it cuts, and it cuts all the way to the edge. So if you wanted to like have a really wide mountain strip for like the bottom of a scrapbook page, you could actually march this die across like this, and you could cut a really a couple of them in a row, or you can cut little bits that like we're gonna use just a part of this today. So, all right. So now I'm going to adhere my vellum to my basic white cardstock layer. And so since my vellum is 3 by 4 inches, my cardstock layer is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I am adding glue to this along the darkest color lines. I don't really want it to show through, and it's vellum, so the glue shows through vellum. So I really like using the multi-purpose liquid glue because it lets me make these organic lines that follow exactly what we have on our paper. Now, green lid glue, this multi-purpose liquid glue, does not grab instantly, so you have to give it a chance to grab, okay? And then let's take a look at the back of our mountains here. We have our adhesive backing. So now when I pull the strip off, we have mountains that already have adhesive on them. Pretty fabulous, right? I know, I'm so excited too. All right, so let's go ahead and layer these. I'm gonna try and keep it off of my surface, my work surface. Now we have our mountains attached, and we're going to flip this over and pop some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back, of which, of course, I have, let's see, little bits of Stampin' Dimensionals here and there, but none super handy. So the Stampin' Dimensionals are a really, really great thing to have lots and lots of. So whenever I find myself needing to bump an order for like, you know, to, I don't know, use my bonus days coupons or something, I would go ahead and add Stampin' Dimensionals because really you can never have too many. Speaking of which, August, we're nearing the end of August. This is your last chance to redeem your bonus days coupons from, if you had orders in July, for each $50 you earned a bonus day coupon. So make sure you are redeeming those. If you're having trouble finding your codes, let me know and we can work on sorting that out. And this is also the end of the Designer Series paper sale. So don't miss the chance to get those annual catalog Designer Series papers at 15% off. All right. because we're about to start the new mini catalog. So most of my stampers probably have gotten their mini catalogs in the mail. If you were expecting one from me and you didn't, let me know. Or if you are interested in one, you can request a catalog from my website at lovenstamps.com and ask for that catalog on there. So, all right, so we have our mountains placed on here, and now we're going to add to it some trees, which I have also cut using the same technique. So here we have the back paper. These trees are from the Forever Forest dies. So I'm going to use the big one. Actually, there are a zillion trees in here. So if you want to make a whole forest, rest assured that you can actually cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tree silhouettes all at one time. So this is a very, very efficient set to be using. I'm just going to use these 3 here. We're going to have a not so huge forest, just a few in the front here. And so I'm going to peel this backing off. I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom that didn't have any adhesive. And I'm just going to stick this down there. Okay. So nice how it just sticks down. And then this one, we're going to do the same. I'm going to pop this on next to it. Like this, okay? And then we have the Wanted to Say dies. We're gonna use Celebrate from here to make this kind of a happy card. And I have that already cut. Now I use the same adhesive sheets here on the back of this one. So we're gonna go ahead and peel these. If you are thinking, oh my gosh, it's so nice to have some new presentations to watch because I haven't posted as many in this last week or two. You might also consider, oh, I missed the edge here. You might also consider signing up for Vacation Stamping School, which is the annual demonstrator training that I run along with some of my stamping friends, Mary Ellen Stites and Laura Burkett and Julie Davison and Kim Peck, Susan LaCroix and Betsy Kreider. And we, this is the 19th time we've offered this training for demonstrators. So it's a virtual event, so you can attend from anywhere in the world. If you're in the US, there's a swag box involved too. But registration for that is open now, and you can learn more in the video description with the link. If you're not a demonstrator and you are interested in being a demonstrator, I'd love to have you join my demonstrator community, Loven Samples demonstrator community. You can join as a demonstrator. There's a link for that in video description too. And then you can come to Vacation Stamping School. But there are lots of fun things to be learned. So here is our base card. We're going to add some embellishments to this though, which take it to the next level. I don't know how, I think you can pretty well see that wink of Stella up there. So our next level embellishment is going to be to add some of these iridescent foil gems. Here they are. And I've got some out of the package already. I'm gonna pop one down here. And then because we have this big open C, I'm actually gonna pop one inside the C. So I kind of like how that works to just emphasize that down there. So we're drawing the eye. So remember with your embellishments, I don't usually place them randomly on a project. I like to place them where I want your eye to be drawn. So the focal point is emphasized by your rhinestones or your embellishments or your glitter or whatever. And so pulling this in here gives us this chance to focus in on the beginning of the word, which makes it really easy to read. Okay. All right. So let's do a little stamping on the inside. I promised you some stamping here. So I have something fancy, which is a great choice for lots of different greetings. I'm like halfway between, I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out celebration. Or if you had a wedding card or retirement or something like that, here's the beautiful beginnings and happily ever afters. Maybe more wedding than retirement. But I also really love this greeting that says, grateful for the everyday magic of you. I think we all could send more cards. I feel like the Chick-fil-A eat more chicken cow. But we could all send more cards. And this grateful for the everyday magic of you is a perfect way to have something to have on the inside of a card that you're just sending to someone who you've been thinking of. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on here. So grateful for the everyday magic, and celebrate is pretty strong. We're grateful for the everyday magic, but honestly, who doesn't want to be celebrated, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and add this here. Now I had that third tree, in case you've forgotten, that we are going to pop on the inside. Yay! Thanks, Betty. Thanks, Joan. I'm glad you guys like this one. I'm so glad you guys found me as a live this morning. I hopefully you haven't given up. And if you're watching the replay of this later, then know that yes, I am back in the studio, and regular Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 9:30 Central Time, you'll be able to find and join me for a live stamping session. So I'm here. I'm back. All right, so we're gonna have this popped on here. Speaking of upcoming live stamping sessions, on next Wednesday, September 4th is the first day of this new catalog here. And so we're going to have our traditional Loven Stampfuls virtual premiere party. I will walk through this. I will have a zillion fun samples to share with you. You'll see things that you haven't seen before. So make sure you join me for that. And that is going to be 7 p.m. Central Time in the evening on that Wednesday the 4th. All right, now we need a little bit more bling here. So I'm going to pull out my Wink of Stella, which is already primed. And I'm going to do a little bit more flicking here. There we go. All right, of our Wink of Stella on here. I'm going to do a quick wipe to see if I can get up some of that Wink of Stella that I've just made a mess with. There we go. And now we have some extra little dottiness in here. So I don't want to close this too hard because that will transfer it all there. But I promised you 2 versions of this. Oh, Donna says the tree is floating inside. Yeah, it is. It's magic. It's a magic tree. But yes, you could, take a line and give it a little base line in there. There, is that better? We'll give it a little spot to stand in the snow. I think it's still kind of floating, but if you want, you could put it at the bottom. But we're gonna stick it there as an extra piece. So I have another version here. Maybe you'll like this one better, Donna, where the tree is at the bottom like that. So it's a little bit less floaty. All right. So we have our tree inside, we have our front, and then I do have a horizontal version of the card. And for this one, I trimmed the bottom of the mountains straight across with the basic white layer, and I put the Celebrate sort of up there in the sky instead of down there with the black. I am kind of a fan of it down here in the black, so you could also move it down here if you didn't trim the mountains quite so tightly. You're welcome, Donna. I know it's like a tag with no string on it. You have to tie a bow or something on the tag. So anyway, the 2 versions of card there, a vertical and a horizontal. So it just gives you a little bit different spacing to have your sunset or your sky or your aurora borealis or whatever you want that to be. The other thing you'll see, and I've got another couple versions, is that however you do your alcohol drops, that can give you a little bit different effect too. So this one I ended up with kind of 2 big drops there. This one I had more drops up here. This one I did a little bit more tilting of the card when it was wet. So the colors kind of mixed together and gave you a different effect. So lots of different ideas here for this card. Oh, Betty says that she didn't think she needed these dies, but she was not correct in that statement. I will say that this is one of my favorite die sets. I love that it has the mountains and the trees together. It has these moon and stars. If you wanted to do this card at next level and just keep going, you could do this background with like some darker colors and stuff at the top. And then you could die cut the stars and the moon out of the vellum and then have the white layer come through from the bottom. Just absolutely gorgeous. There are some clouds on here that you could layer on top. There are some like little rocks you could have at the bottom. This is a really great scene building die for lots of different possibilities. So the link is in the video description for this. I love it when you guys order from me. It helps to support my videos. I appreciate that. And oh yeah, no, Sue's thinking about the die set too. Oh, Margaret says she loves this one. Yeah, so lots of good possibilities for this. And this Wanted to Say die set is a really great combination to add along with it. So, all right. So of all the things that I have shared with you this morning, first of all, I love being back in the studio. So Tuesdays and Thursdays we're back on, and thank you guys for chiming in this morning and let me know that you're there. End of August means end of bonus days redemption, so don't miss using your codes. End of August also means end of the annual idea book, the annual catalog designer series paper sale. So don't miss the chance to pick up designer series papers from there. The beginning of September, September 4th, means the start of our new book. So if you don't have a copy of this in paper and you would like one, let me know. You can request a book from my website. And the other thing to know about this is the online version will be available starting September 4th too. Let's see. Also, Vacation Stamping School registration is open. If you're a demonstrator or you want to be a demonstrator, I would love to have you join us. And that link is in the video description. Also, that's a really fun, fabulous all-day online event with lots of bonuses to it. And the other thing, I thought of something else I wanted to tell you. Vacation Stamping School. Oh, the paper share. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'll show you some more papers on Thursday. But the papers from this new book are absolutely gorgeous. And the Loven Stamps Designer Series paper share is super popular. It has, backed by popular demand, it includes not only a 6x6 paper from all 58 of the Designer Series papers in that new book. So here, I'll show you this one. It's called something about the nest, something about winter nests. So it's got these pretty birds and then some really cool, actually this paper here, I don't know which side I'm on, this paper here, I think, oh, that's upside down, is going to be one of my very favorites. But it's got all these pretty papers. The backs are also gorgeous. I love this one here with sort of those winter snow flowers. But the cool thing about the Loven Stamps Designer Series paper share is that it comes with ready to stamp card bases. So for every piece of designer's paper you get, you also get a coordinating colored card base. So when you get your papers, you will actually use them. And I get so much positive feedback about this because people love making it super easy for themselves. You want to use this bird paper? Great. Here's your card ready to go. So make sure you sign up for that. So the link for that is in the video description. Is that true? Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure in the video description. So make sure you get your spot secured for that. You can also get the best value version with the embellishments sampler and get a chance to try all those new embellishments too. So whichever option you're interested in. And that is available to US stampers. So anyway, I think that covers us for our return to the studio video, but I hope that you guys are as excited as I am about this really, really gorgeous blending brush technique, or blending Stampin Blends Markers alcohol background technique with vellum. It's really beautiful and great with the silhouette dies. So make sure you check those out, and I will be back on Thursday with another set of another project to share with you and another actual in the studio me and you time video. So happy stamping, everyone, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.